Good morning, everybody. You're listening to Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Segal Network. I'm so excited to be here. Hanukkah is in the air, people. I smell the fried oil all the way down Grand Street. Well, at least, part of the way. I'm really excited to be here a couple days before Hanukkah. We have an incredible lineup for you. So stick with us for the hour. We've got some really, really interesting and different stuff that we've never done before on the show. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Naomi Nachman. I'm about all the food all the time. I love food. I love to shop for it, cook it, eat at restaurants, anything food related. I'm a personal chef. I'm a 2-time cookbook author. I give cooking classes. I run chop competitions, and I love to travel. I was about to say I'm an all-round foodie, but really, food and travel, they've become synonymous with my name, and I absolutely love it. But I want to hear about your experiences too. So email me, naomi@nachumsegal.com, and share all your food adventures with me. I'll share them with everyone else. If you made something delicious, let me know. I want to make it too. So thank you so much for tuning in every week, and I'm really excited to have everyone today listening to this lineup because I have on the phone Cheryl Haft. She's a cookbook author. She's a book author, I should say. She's a book author. Something very different that I've ever had on the show. Eli Rosenfeld. He's never been on my show before. He's the OG. I learned that term recently from a young friend. OG means original. He's the original marketing expert in the kosher food world, right? I would say kosher and non-kosher food world. You've had tons of experience inside and outside kosher food.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. I like that.
We talk to Jews. It's not all about the Jewish food. It's who we talk to.
There you go. We can't wait to hear all about that. Shani Simon from Manischewitz is going to show us the brand new donut mix that they have here. We're going to actually make some donuts in the house, and ZK's going to eat them. ZK's giving me the 2 thumbs up. On the phone, I have Cheryl Haft. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Naomi.
How are you?
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
We've been trying to have you on for a while, but actually this is a great time of the year to have you on because you wrote a book, Goodnight Bubala, and it's really focused around the time of Hanukkah with the latkes.
Yes, I mean, it captures Jewish culture, but it takes place on a night of Hanukkah, so it is perfect.
So you sent me a box. I've seen the book already, but you sent me an extra special box, which I want to show everyone. I'm doing what they call an unboxing. A lot of us Instagrammers get food boxes or fashion boxes or both. But you made this beautiful box, and I want to open up on our YouTube channel on camera. It is actually the most adorable box because it's part of the book. And it says on the inside, it says Goodnight Bubala by Cheryl Haft. And she even wrote me a nice note, which I'm going to read. Hello, Bubala. Remember the classic book, Goodnight Moon? This is Goodnight Bubala, a joyful parody. It's a celebration of family, Jewish culture, and the Yiddish language, with a special recipe by beloved cookbook author Ina Garten. Hope you enjoy Goodnight Bubala and help spread the love to your communities. And then you wrote me a note, love you a latka, and then Cheryl, and then you say to me, you wrote me a note saying we hope to meet you personally in December. But we're having you on, and we're really excited. And you open up the box and it says, are you ready to platz? I like that. So cute. You're really embracing that Yiddish. ZK, we got the camera on. I'm opening it up. And here inside is her book, Goodnight Bubala, with a recipe. Oh, this is so cute. A wooden spoon and with a recipe card attached. A little bunny face mask because, like the baby's got to go to sleep. And stickers.
Stickers.
Keep calm and schlep on. I love you a latka. Oy vey, born to kvetch. I'm babkas without you. Oh my God, I love it. No kvetching. Oy vey, it's Monday. Oy to the world. This girl runs on coffee and chutzpah. Such a mensch. I want my bobby. I'm a new bobby, so I am going to wear that. Schmutz happens.
Well, Naomi, you pronounce the Yiddish beautifully.
Oh, thank you.
Not everybody knows how.
Oh, well, my grandmother was a Yiddish teacher.
Oh, amazing! I'm finding everybody has a favorite Yiddish word. Do you have one?
Mine is Sitzfleisch. It's a colloquialism. It means sitting meat because they always used to say to me, sit still, Naomi. You don't have any Sitzfleisch. Means like patience to sit. Like I can't sit still. So that's always been my favorite expression.
I thought it was Spilkes.
Spilkes and Tuches. That's the other one because I've no Sitzfleisch. Okay, this is the cutest thing ever. I absolutely love this package. And let's talk about this book. It's beautiful. I've never actually had a non-cookbook on the show, but I figured because there's a great recipe in here, and I'm a Bobby, and it's Hanukkah, and it's about a latke at the end of the story, you know, we can definitely talk about this book on the show. What brought you to write this book?
Well, I was looking for a way. I've always loved the Yiddish language. I don't speak Yiddish per se, but I've heard it from my grandmother. And then being in New York, I just think it's so funny and feisty. And I wanted to find a way to capture Yiddish in a children's picture book. And one night I was reading Goodnight Moon. I was looking at the picture of the old lady whispering hush, and I wondered, like, is she a grandma? And then I started to thinking, well, what if she was a bubby? And what if there was a big, joyful Jewish family that came into the book? And that's when I got the idea to write Goodnight Bubala.
You should know my granddaughter calls me Bubby. She's 16 months old. She was actually born on my birthday. I am Bobby. Everybody makes fun of me why I chose such an old-fashioned name. But my mother's Bobby to my kids. My grandmother was Bobby to me. We are just Bobbies in my family, and I absolutely love that. And when my granddaughter was born, my husband bought me a bracelet that says Bobby on it with our birthdays. So I'm all about being a Bobby, and I think it's so important to connect our heritage. And this book spoke volumes to me.
Oh, I'm so glad. You know, and Bubala technically means little grandma. I mean, it's a term of endearment. It means little darling, little sweetheart, but technically it's, you know, little Bubala, my Bubala. It technically means little grandma. It's imbued with this wish that the child grows up to be a grandma, a grandparent.
Amen to that. Amen to that. It's absolutely adorable. I love it. And tell us about your illustrator. How did you meet up with her?
Well, our publisher at Dial Books, Lori Hornick, loved the idea immediately, and we wanted to get it out for Hanukkah, so she quickly paired me with Jill Weber. And Jill is a wonderful illustrator. She lives on a farm in New Hampshire. She actually grows a lot of her own food. She cans her own preserves, but she's been illustrating books for many years, and she's done many Jewish books, and so her style just seemed to really capture the humor, the energy, and the charm that we were looking for.
Oh, I think it's so there. It's so in your book. What's your connection with Ina Garten that she was involved in the recipe of the book?
Well, Naomi, it's funny. You said this is the first time you've had a children's book. This was the first time that Ina has had a recipe in anyone else's book, never mind a children's picture book. So it's a first for her. She's a friend, and we were having coffee. I was telling her about the idea, and I started to read her the manuscript, and she has such a wonderful sense of humor. She just cracked up. She loved the sound of the Yiddish phrases. She thought the idea was so great, and she just said, I'll make you a latke recipe. And she did. She just did this wonderful, generous thing by, giving me a latke recipe for the book.
I think that's great because I'm actually trying to pull it out now. I put it back in the box, but I want to pull it out. It's illustrated in the back here. Here's the card that came in my box. But the recipe is in the book as well. I'm just showing everyone on our YouTube channel as well. We have a YouTube channel, and there it is. The last page of the book is Ina's recipe. And it's 1.5 pounds of potatoes, and it's got onions, eggs, flour. She fries it in butter. Oh, Ellie, there you go. Breakstone butter.
Everything's better with butter.
Everything's better with butter, as we say in Australia. Kosher salt, olive oil, sour cream, applesauce. I don't think it needs anything. I just need oil and potatoes and salt, and you're done.
Well, Naomi, she made the recipe 12 different times. It made me realize what a scientist she is, isn't it? In addition to being a cook, she tried it in, a Teflon pan, in a waffle iron, in a cast iron pan. It made me appreciate how much goes into her recipes.
Yeah, she's unbelievable. I I missed your book launch. I wanted to come to that, and it was too close to the holidays, and it was just I couldn't get over there. But she's a legend in the whole wide world of cooking. So
She's
very
also
cool.
so kind and generous. She's really a special person.
Well, we're very excited that this book has been such a hit already. And I can't wait. I have 2 copies of it. Both are signed by you. I'm actually going to give my granddaughter one for Hanukkah when I see her in Israel this year. Next week,
that's
actually.
An honor.
So your book is going to be sitting on the bookshelves in Israel in about a week.
Oh, please send me a picture. That's
I will
Thank
do
you.
that. I have with me right now is Eli Rosenfeld, and he's been talking with us. He's going to be talking with us about the history of kosher food marketing. And he just handed me a book, and it's called, what year was this printed? I wonder if there's even a print year on this. But it says
Probably the 60s or maybe the 50s.
It's Familiar Jewish Words and Expressions. And on the front page, it's some guys holding cards, which completely reminds me of my grandparents. And it says kibbutz on it, and it's compliments of Calvert Distillers Company. Who are they?
Liquor company.
A liquor company, okay? And it's a whole Yiddish English dictionary that they have here. I'd love you to see this. Cheryl?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, the English. Yes, we thought it was really important to include the glossary so that people knew how to pronounce the words and also would learn about the meanings.
Right, yeah. So and this also has the same kind of dictionary.
Yeah, this dictionary, it was used actually to give to liquor store owners so they would know terminology to talk to the Jewish customer when they came in. So everything from tsaris to shlamil to shlamazel, all your favorite Yiddish words are written out here phonetically so that the guy that owned the corner liquor store knew how to communicate and felt familiar to the Jewish customer.
So can I just read one here that as
your show.
foodies? Ravioli is translated into kreplach. Salmon smoked into lox. Schmaltz is schmaltz. This is hilarious. You would really like to see this. Cheryl, I gotta send you a copy of this.
Look at the ad over there.
Geschmackt. Oh my gosh. Matzah's matzah, kosher's kosher. Hui is bubba meiser. Garlic is a knobble. Knobble. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Did not.
Okay, gefilte fish is gefilte fish. Okay, I got to get a copy of this and send this out to Cheryl. I think she would really appreciate it.
It's so great.
Cheryl, how do we find your book?
Well, it's on Amazon. It's actually been a #1 bestseller since it published October 15th. And it's in almost every independent bookstore. It's actually being carried by Costco and Barnes & Noble. It's a great gift for the holidays. Thank you so much for featuring it.
I'm thrilled. This was great. When I saw this book and Yoav, one of your publicists, reached out to me, I'm like, this is my book. Like, I always speak a little bit of Yiddish when I talk, so this is great. I'm a Yiddish speaker at heart, even though I can't really speak.
As I've toured around, I was just at the Evelyn Rubenstein Houston Jewish Book Festival. I was struck by how it's really resonating with people who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s. It reminds them of their own families, of their own childhoods. And so people are buying it for their friends, even if they're 70. It's a picture book for 80-year-olds.
It's so cute from
young
and old. Okay, guys, go grab the book. It is called Good Night, Bubbala, Bubbala, by Cheryl Hath. Cheryl is with an S, by the way, guys. Thank you so much for talking with us, and I hope to meet you one day in person.
Thank you, Naomi. Thank you so much.
All right, take care. Happy Hanukkah! A freilichen Hanukkah! There you go. We got a little bit more Yiddish in there. I wish I could say this is table for two, but I can't say that in Yiddish. My nephews and nieces speak Yiddish in Borough Park, but me not so much. How are you, Ellie?
I am well. How are you?
Good. I can't believe it took this long to have you on the show.
Well, the Lower East Side is, out of the way.
Right, from Teaneck, Ir HaKodesh.
Well, yes. But the interesting thing is that our firm, Joseph Jacobs, actually was founded right here on the Lower East Side.
Tell us a little bit about your firm and where it was founded, who founded it, how your involvement, and the beginnings
And the beginnings were just blocks from here, with the original Forward building, which I would
Right
like
up here
to
on
say,
East Broadway.
on East
Still there.
Broadway, it's still there. If you look carefully,
Still
the word
says-
"forward" is still there in English. I think actually all the way up top, it's in Yiddish if you look carefully.
And you know that there's 4 engraved faces of Marxism in the building.
Did not know that.
I will show
One of
you.
them is probably Irvin V. Webb's, which is WEVD.
I will show you.
Forerunner, and we'll talk about, I guess, EVD in a minute. The forerunner of most Jewish radio, Yiddish radio at that point was. Our firm's celebrating our 100th anniversary. So anything that was
Wow.
founded here on the Lower East Side has to be more than a couple of years old. As I said, just a few blocks from here, a guy, oddly enough, named Joe Jacobs. Who would have thought that a firm named Joseph Jacobs was founded by a guy named Joe? Joe worked for the Forward. He sold ad space in the Yiddish paper. The Forward back then was a daily.
My grandfather used to get it delivered to Australia.
To Australia.
Yeah.
It
We
probably,
got the Forward in Yiddish in Australia.
probably came a few days late.
Yeah, maybe a month late.
I'm going to assume slow boat. But at the same time, there were dozens, and this is, I kid you not, this is in the early part of the 20th century. So we're talking 1910, 20, before 20, in the 19 teens. And there were about a dozen or so Yiddish daily and a couple of weekly newspapers, which served what was the center of Jewish life in America, which was right here on the Lower East Side. And Joe had clients and customers that wanted to advertise to that market. But then he realized there was an opportunity to get them not only in the Forward. So he left the Forward and started selling ad space in all of the Yiddish dailies. And he turned it into an agency because he needed to translate the ads into Yiddish. He needed to create the ads in some cases. And then it turned into beyond just ad space. It turned into marketing programs. It turned into advertising, in-store, understanding what the retailers were going about. And that really turned into what we have today 100 years later, where we do much less Yiddish, although not none, because Yiddish is, of course, transferred from being the language of everybody in the Jewish community to the language of the Hasidic part of our market.
Right, but I think Yiddish is transcended into American talk. Chutzpah is out
Chutzpah
there.
is absolutely out there, and what we have shown just a minute ago, for instance, certainly when Yiddish was dying down as the spoken language, Yiddishisms. And as you were just talking about the book Bubala, using Yiddish phraseology has not been something. So what you had just shown here,
This is such a great time.
Calvert
Who would have
distributors,
known?
who would have thought? This is all in English. But if you take a look at this book, and I'll put it up to the camera, these 3 words are no mitzia, bottled in Canada. So the idea was speak to Jews in language, even if it wasn't in a different language, but in a tonality that they spoke about. So these are things that we did, our agency, literally in the 40s or the 50s. This is another piece that I pulled out while you were talking about this. How about this? Philadelphia brand cream cheese. This was an in-store poster.
Which kind of store?
This would go in a supermarket.
This is fantastic.
Balabustas agree.
Get out.
Again, it's an English in-store. This would be like, hanging next to the refrigerator section. But the terminology was talking, and oddly enough, it doesn't even say anything here about kosher. Obviously, you look there.
And
there's
it
a
has the
picture of matzah.
hechsher on it.
Well, here it doesn't.
Oh, right, it doesn't.
Because this was just...
I hear this. No, that's K for craft.
That's K for craft.
I thought K for kosher.
Well, it does. It's interesting. We'll talk about that in a minute, because the K for kosher was actually invented by Joe Jacobs.
Really?
It was there. It didn't exist in it before that. You needed to tell people that the products were kosher. He went to companies, and oddly enough, Joe was not Shomer Shabbos. He didn't keep kosher, but he knew that if you wanted to sell products to many of the Jews, he probably actually kept more kosher, I guess, than what certain people today might. But he convinced manufacturers to make the product kosher, allow a rabbi. He had business relationships with some rabbis to certify products as kosher, but they didn't want Yiddish. They didn't want Hebrew on their package. So he goes, how about this? Just put a K on there, and we'll tell people that means kosher. And ads, and I brought a whole bunch here. I could probably go through a few of them. He would put in, hold on.
Okay, he's looking for some
This is
ads.
one. This one's in English. It's, again, Maxwell House Coffee. If you take a look here, K certified kosher. And I could find dozens, hundreds of ads that had this.
I'm showing these up to the camera if you're watching on our YouTube channel. Today's definitely a YouTube channel kind of day.
And
This is the Philadelphia
by putting
one.
that in there, it
They're
would say
in-
K certified kosher. People would know that they would look on a package and see that. I even brought, this is certainly not one of the originals, but I brought, I don't even know what year this is from, a Maxwell House Coffee.
Oh,
This goes back
that is so
the
old, 'cause they're
50s
now
or
blue.
60s. Blue is now their brand color for sure.
K.
That little K is
How
right
old
there.
is this jar?
That jar is from, I think, the 60s.
Wow, this jar was around before any of us.
Yes. Well, so far everything you've picked up. That
I
Balabusta
love
thing.
history. I love this kind of thing.
We've got stuff here.
I know, right? I'm going to
drop
put it down.
You'd have to go on eBay to buy another one.
Uh-huh.
But how about this? This is nothing. So some of these ads were in Yiddish. And again, the agency started by helping brands talk to Jewish consumers, even if the brand itself wasn't a Jewish one. We certainly today work with a lot of Jewish companies. Manischewitz, Shani will be on in a few minutes to talk about some of their Hanukkah products, is a client of ours. Empire Kosher is a client of ours, and a number of other Jewish organizations. But what really made our firm originally were these general market brands that were talking to the Jewish consumer, again, sometimes in a literal language in Yiddish, other times in a tonality or in a cultural reference that they can understand. So some of what I just gave you, talking about is the coolest thing.
It's dated 8/2/48.
Correct.
Israel is now 3 months old.
Israel's 3 months old, and this ad in Yiddish ran in a bunch of Jewish newspapers. We could put it up to the camera there. But here's the problem. Joe Jacobs might have spoken Yiddish, and they had copywriters that spoke Yiddish, but the clients, they most certainly didn't speak Yiddish. So we actually have here in our archives original typed copy from August 1948 with the translation that was sent to the client so they would know what they were advertising.
Okay, so here it is in Yiddish.
And my Yiddish is
Okay.
almost non-existent.
Yeah, so rich with satisfying goodness that belongs to Maxwell House alone. This famous coffee blend satisfies the discriminating taste of the Jewish people. I love that. That is why they have enjoyed it as a part of family life for so many, many years. That is why the Jewish families buy and enjoy Maxwell House coffee than any other brand at any price. Good to the last drop. I think that's still there.
That is still their line.
Radiant, roasted, vacuum packed, always roasted fresh. Enjoy Maxwell House coffee today, a product of General Foods. Okay, and that is translated from Yiddish. Good bizen la'alz. Do you speak Yiddish, ZK? Can you read? Okay, ZK, can you read that last line there? We're giving this to ZK. He's getting in on the show today.
Drop.
No,
Yeah.
Oh, good to the last. But
Drop.
read it in Yiddish.
Drop. It says drop.
Yeah.
They transliterated
Good?
it.
Yeah.
Say the whole sentence.
The very left of it.
Yeah. Drop. That's what it says. Drop.
It's a good bizen
Yeah,
last
good
drop.
bizen zarten drop, because you have it here, droppin. There's a nun at the end.
Dropping.
Here we actually
That's
have
fantastic.
these are ads.
I'm
So how about
plotzing.
this? This is your plotzing. There you go.
This is. I didn't even mean to say
Minute rice. Again,
Ah.
July 1st, 1948. And here's actually a tear sheet of the ad. So we sent this to the client in July for their approval.
that. July 2nd.
July 1st,
Oh, that's why.
1948,
Yeah.
right? The ad here ran, you can see the original tear sheet, October 6th. And this is advertising Minute Rice. It's
Minute
Minute
rice.
Rice. Okay?
Bar
Brand.
brand.
Minute brand rice. Okay? So if you go here, it shows you miracle number 1. As easy as boiling water. Just dump in water and bring to a boil. No more cooking needed. 2, perfect every time. Finest, fluffiest rice you've ever tasted or your money back. Saves work and time. No washing, no rinsing. This is the beginning of what Minute Rice was, and this ad ran in Yiddish in 1948.
Wow. July 1st. Wow.
Now so you take a look back, and we love going through the archives in the office. You know, sometimes we can get lost in them for hours and for days.
I'd love to do that.
But what's really cool is not only that, because advertising is there to do what? Why do we advertise?
Selling a product to sell.
Correct. So if the product doesn't sell, advertising's worthless.
Bye-bye.
So back starting in the 40s, Joe Jacobs had this great idea. We need to prove that the Jewish consumer was actually, buying these products. A, it would get the clients to continue to advertise, and B, it would bring in more clients. They started doing brand research in 1947. Okay, so this book is actually from February 17th, 1947 to March 7th of that year. When
No
they went,
Israel yet.
No anything yet. Literally, they would go to consumers' homes and ask them what brand of baking powder they have in the metro New York area, and then break it out to Jewish versus non-Jewish so they could prove.
Who put this together?
We hired back then the Pulse Company. They did market research. I have these books from about the mid-40s all the way up until the late 90s when we stopped doing this study. This is literally an original.
How long have you been in the company?
I got to the company in May 1996. So the firm,
20-something years.
20-something years. I try to lose track. makes it a little
Makes
easier.
us younger.
Makes us younger. When I started working there, the firm was owned and run by Dick Jacobs, Joe's son. Joe passed away in 1957, so his son's been running the firm since then. And then there was a minority partner, a gentleman named David Koch, that was with him. And the two of them worked together until 2003. Dick retired in June 2003. I took over the firm at that point. David stayed on with me until a few years later when he got sick and passed away as well. He was an older gentleman. So I've seen a few things over the years, and it's interesting, to a certain extent, makes us feel younger. But there are brands I'm working on now for the last 25 years or so. When I go in and meet with some of these clients, I am working on these brands almost as long as some of these brand people are alive, literally. They ask, "Oh, how long have you been working on this?" I say, "Oh, I started working on your brand in 1999 or 2000," and they're like, they shrivel in a seat because oh, I was in 5th grade.
Right. Well, look at 1947.
And I bring these ads or things and take a look at this.
My mum was.
Yeah, I think you're live.
I think you're referring to me because when we started working together for Manischewitz, you told me that you've been working on the brand.
I am currently probably the longest person working on the brand.
Yes. So
Wow.
I've been with Manischewitz
2.5 years.
2.5 years. But I think I represent maybe a younger generation coming into the products or to the kosher food buying industry from a different perspective. But I was wowed by the amount of experience you had with marketing and
with some of those brands. It really, to a small sense, humbling, but other days you really sit back, and I do pull out some of the stuff when I do a research report or if I'm doing a retrospective on what we've done.
Like in your archives? Look at
Our
pancake and buckwheat flour.
I have boxes, I have
Scouring.
legal boxes of these.
Laxatives and cathartics and mineral oil.
Yes.
Let my
Phillips-
people go.
Yes. Phillips Milk of Magnesia, by the way, back in 1947 was in 23.6% of New York City homes, but was in 28.6% of the Jewish homes. So
It's interesting, right?
But that's nothing. Squib Milk of Magnesia was in 7.2% of homes, but was in 12.4%. So that's like almost double. We're talking 80% difference. That's an opportunity for a brand to say, wait a minute, we have a consumer here that likes it. Or even if you go down to the bottom, you could talk about number of households. 80% of the Jewish homes had a laxative versus only 73%. So you go to a brand and say, or
What? So 80% have Jews and 70% non-Jews.
80% of Jews and 73% of the total market. Non-Jews were 72.5%. So you go to a company, and by the way, this is still true today. This is exactly what you do. And you say, your category is well represented in our market. You should now take advantage of that and advertise it so that you become the leading brand.
Right, so you become the influencer. Now we've got this whole new way to advertise something.
Correct. Well, it's funny.
Which is the social media component of everything.
Social
or
media-
the radio, or the podcasts. Or
Well, radio, as I mentioned earlier,
Growing.
was the, I'd say, second, Jewish media vehicle here in the United States, probably around the world. There was Yiddish radio that ran from the early 1900s, 1901. I forgot even what year WEVD started. Yiddish language, Yiddish culture, Jewish culture, in English but Jewish. There was even, the predecessor to the Nachum Siegel Network was this WEVD. People must remember. I'm hoping someone remembers.
Guys,
Art
does
Raymond.
anyone remember-
the Sunday Simcha?
Okay, look at ZK nodding.
I worked for him a little bit.
You did?
Oh, that's cool, ZK.
And his last couple of years, down in Florida?
Yeah, I built a little studio. Where you did
Really?
Exactly.
That's so, guys. If you've heard of him, please let us know. Naomi@nachumsiegel.com, and I'll forward it on to Ellie.
Art Raymond was the Sunday Simcha, and there was the Ruth Jacobs Jewish Home Show, which ran for Ruth Jacobs was a fictional character. It was Dick's wife, Pat, but she was on TV before Channel 13 here in New York was PBS. It was an independent TV station, and there was actually TV. Hold on, I brought it back.
This is great. I love this.
Time to make donuts soon.
I know it's okay. I'm keeping an eye on that time because we got to eat our donuts. We got our Manischewitz donuts. Manischewitz has been around for a very long time as well.
About OG.
Look at this.
Yeah.
So this was actually a promotional piece from Joseph Jacobs. Our firm put this out in I don't know what years. It says 38 years, so this is the late mid-60s. Okay, there was Club Israel, Stars of Israel, at 3:15 p.m. It was sponsored by Hoffman Beverages.
Wait, this is radio.
This is TV.
TV.
Channel 13, WATV, Channel 13 here in New York. English language, sponsored by all these brands. There was the Freilich Time, starring Mickey Freeman, Miriam Crescent, Seymour Rechtzit, Jewish Matinee, Irving Fields. I'm telling you, people don't realize how much Jewish culture existed in media well before we were all born.
Right, and I think it's still so present today. You know, you have the word, right, you know, like the Black Eyed Peas have got that song, and they have the use Mazel Tov in the middle of the song.
Correct.
You know what song I'm talking about?
I think it's baked into.
It's so
American
much is
culture.
like.
I mean,
Well,
we're
it's-
sitting in the Lower East Side, so it's the pinnacle of where it came from. But I think it's, it's just baked into American culture, and also, you know, the book that Cheryl just was talking about.
Yep.
This resurgence of a cultural pride.
To be
And
number
enjoy-
one on bestseller.
That's what Manischewitz is all about, and that's what Jewish advertising really speaks to.
It really is an incredible resurgence. People are taking a pride in really who they are. What they do, how they practice is totally irrelevant. There is a pride in their Jewishness, and that Yiddish book, certainly, the Balabus, Bubby is certainly talking about that. We're finding that. Great cultural examples right now. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisels. Okay?
Oh.
Their third season
I
starting.
love that.
It's unbelievable. That is quintessentially Jewish and
Yeah.
took the world by storm. Take a look at other Israel cultural references. Shtisel. Shtisel happened to be in Israel, but it was an amazing, really, realization. You take a look at it and say, you know something? We can connect on a cultural level with a different culture and use it to teach people about a culture in a way that something else, talking on the street or people sometimes yelling and screaming at each other on social media can't.
Mrs. Maisel, she's always eating in the deli, her rye, the corned beef on rye with a pickle. Like
We've got the rabbi. Like
got
they're,
the
they're,
rabbi.
they did Tisha B'Av. They did Tisha B'Av.
They did
last
Tisha
season
B'Av
in
on the show.
Catskills.
Well,
Big scenes are revolving around Jewish holidays and traditions, like Yom Kippur, like when they break their fast. I think there's a Passover scene. I'm not sure.
I don't think it was a Passover scene yet, but they were in
Yom
synagogue.
Kippur.
They were in shul for Yom Kippur. They had Tisha B'Av, and then last year we did a promotion with them for their own version of the Max Wallace Haggadah.
How cool is that? I was so honored to be part of that. I got to be from Ellie. I got to do a Mrs. Maisel coffee, Maxwell House Instagram story and post, and it was incredible to be part of that. To be linked with all of that is amazing. And he's reaching out again, moving forward to the next set of, rather than print ads, we're going into and radio. You're going into the social media, which is
without
booming.
a doubt.
People
as
don't
Naomi said,
realize
we're using influencers on a regular basis for brands, both Jewish and non-Jewish, that want to talk to the Jewish consumer. The ability to do targeted social media and digital ads. So someone, when they're on the Wall Street Journal's website, or if they're on weather.com, are getting an ad that's relevant to them about their Jewish culture, and that's what brands are talking to. And it really, I like to say, Ein chadash tachat hashamash. There's nothing new under the sun. It's just a different vehicle. But we've been doing this, and the brands have been doing it, as we just saw in Yiddish and print. This is the funniest thing I dug out just recently. American Airlines used to give away, and again, brands giving things away have withered over time when budgets. But this is American Airlines Tourist Guide to Jewish History in the Caribbean.
That is unbelievable. Now they would charge you for it. They charge you for the oxygen on the plane.
It's unbelievable they produced this very specifically to.
This is amazing.
And what's even funnier, how about this? You've heard of Joey Adams, the famous old Borscht Belt comedian.
So I'm actually this is where
You're
growing up
American,
in Australia.
correct.
I know a lot. I know a lot of American. Pop
what's his
culture.
wife's name? She was the Page Six columnist. Adams. Her name is escaping me. The second ZK,
Do we know?
the gossip columnist on Page Six in the Post.
Oh, come on, you guys must know. Who's
Okay,
listening.
that was his wife.
If you know,
Regardless-
send me an email.
So you're talking here about influencers. How about this? American Airlines
This is fantastic.
went and got Joey Adams, a famous Jewish comedian, to give the, for lack of a better way to put it, the haskama, the approbation, the
They
affirmation.
probably like do what I invite you to the restaurant or the hotel to Instagram. This is the original way to
1950s,
do
60s
this.
version of doing that. This is probably actually the 70s, 80s.
Aruba.
But it's unbelievable that brands have been doing this for
So did you know, guys,
crazy
that there's
time.
actually a Jewish cemetery in Aruba? A recently discovered gravestone has been deciphered as a date from 1563, almost a century before Jewish settlement on Curacao.
Curacao.
There
is
you
the
go.
oldest surviving synagogue in the Northern Hemisphere. In
Really?
yeah, talk about it. It's in here. Here we go. Hold on
I
a
could
second.
read this whole book. This is like right up
I'm
my
telling
alley.
you. I'll find it in here, but it's without a doubt there is a very old
Do you know
synagogue in
what's the
Curacao.
oldest kosher restaurant still standing in New York?
Oldest kosher
Because
restaurant
Bernstein, we know, gone.
gone.
Ratner's gone. I'm talking about around me, the Lower East
Oldest
Side.
current
What?
surviving.
La Marais, 25 years, 26 years.
Until recently, it was.
What?
It might be Mr. Broadway.
Yeah, you're right, it is. You're right. I did an article piece for Mishpacha magazine. It's Mr. Broadway. ZK, good one. That was very fast.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, Mr. Broadway probably
Always
outranks
evolving. You should know they are always evolving. They're keeping up with their times. A big shout out to
Just
them.
past them. I just literally walked by them the other day. It's unbelievable. They keep
They've
it
been
fresh.
around. When
They do.
I was single, that was like where everyone went from Stern
I think
College.
There's got to be something
Everybody
else that's
still
that
does
old.
it.
Is there anything else that old?
Mendy's?
what?
No,
Okay, you might be right.
What?
Gottlieb's in Williamsburg.
Okay, fair enough. You could.
We can do Gottlieb's. What else?
I
we
wanna
got?
hear
Say
from
Mendy's,
everyone.
But I think that's later.
Which one?
Mendy's.
Mendy's is much later.
Mendy's is in my day since I'm here, maybe 30 years.
Mendy's is much older.
Stern and the
Yeah,
90s,
Mendy's is
right. Yeah,
that really might be it.
Mr. Broadway.
Oh, well,
trying to think.
no, come on. In Manhattan, it was it used to be a steakhouse, and now they just do catering.
Oh, Luigi Siegel's.
Luigi Siegel's.
Oh, but there's no restaurant left. But
Right.
Luigi Siegel's, I remember as a kid going there.
Yeah. My dad once went there for steak dinner, and he still talks about it now.
Luigi Siegel's. Well, when I was a kid, quintessentially, if your grandparent in America was not a kosher butcher, they were in the schmata business. So my grandfather was in the schmata business. So we'd go up to his office on vacation. They'd bring in lunch from Siegel's. So that was
Right.
the highlight. You went to Grandpa's office and you got tongue on rye.
I once went to the circus on Pesach. My husband's company gave us tickets to see in a box, in a booth, like what do they call them? Box?
Suite.
Suite. It was very fancy. My kids were very little at the time, and we lived on the Lower East Side, and they catered in kosher Pesach food for us, Luigi Siegel's. We were in heaven, and there was no Instagram back then. We just took a ton of photos.
Just
And
lived in the moment.
yeah, we lived in the moment. How
Look at-
about
look
that?
at that.
So different.
It is.
So
You had to-
different.
and yet, wait, you had to print the pictures.
Oh, yes. When I used to take a video of my kids when they were little to send to my mum, I'd have a giant camera. Then I would video it, fill up the half hour, then put it in an envelope, get it,
And
send it
mail
to
her
my
the
mother from the
VHS.
post office on Clinton Street, 1002 here on the Lower East Side. And 10 days later, my mother would get it, and then she'd convert it in her little converter box, and then she'd watch it on repeat over and over and over again till the next one came. Now, in 1 second, I can
And that was
WhatsApp
easy
a
because
thing.
you didn't even have to do it. You just recorded it. I'm telling you, I remember, and you're my age, as a kid, you took pictures, you had the film. If you were fancy, you would take it to the 1 hour place.
Yeah.
That was expensive. If you actually were more typical, you'd put it in an envelope and you'd mail it off to get done, and it would take 10 days or so
yes,
to
so-
get them all back
And
in the
also,
mail.
When I was a kid, we'd
Yeah,
have to
that
go.
changed
You
very
call
fast.
Double, you call a double when your friend took a picture that you
Yes.
thought you might like, and you'd have to wait 2 weeks to see if you blinked
Yes.
in the photo.
Wait, but
So hold on. So
changed
let's-
very fast.
Very
Yes, it did,
fast.
but-
Okay,
so
we got to
let's-
bring
let's-
Shani on the show.
Let's bring Shani on the show, but I'm going to show you one last thing.
One
It's
last
not
thing.
as old as
Turn
all
on
of
the
that,
oil.
but it talks about really how things have changed. Right now, we do print ads, right?
Yeah.
All the way.
Okay, we do an ad, and what happens? You make a change, you send it via email, you send a PDF to the newspaper, to the magazine, to the website, and boom. Well, that wasn't the way it was. If you did a color ad, this is not so long ago, you had to send them
What's
film.
this called? Film?
Film. And
No
if it's
way,
a four
this
color,
is
I need to
so
see
cool.
that. That's-
ZK's very
I've never seen anything
impressed.
like that.
this is 4 pieces of film.
Have
It's
you
not
seen
4
this
ads.
before?
Okay, this is
Once
4
he's
because
seen it, ZK's been doing this for a very long time.
well, think about this for a moment. You have your printer at home. There are 4 colors, right? C, M, Y, and K. Everything that you print is made up of 4 colors. The exact proportions make up millions of colors. So there'd be 4 pieces of film. each one representing a different color. And this is literally what you'd send to the magazine, because there was, by the way, you couldn't do color in newspapers back then either.
Right.
So you'd send this to a magazine, and then if you sent newspaper stuff, you'd have to send them a print. And they would literally take a picture of it. I'm trying to see what else I got here. You can't even imagine how this changed. It wasn't, oh my God, we want to run an ad today. I finished it last night. Or we found the mistake. Let's change it. They're printing they're printing in an hour. I'll get it to you. No, if they didn't have that a week before,
you were done.
You toast, finished.
Literally.
That was it. You missed it. Next month.
Wow, amazing. The history is incredible.
We could do this for hours.
We could, but
you should come to the office.
We have to cook. Yes, I want to do that. Can you be that? I came to you last December. Didn't it go like that?
Yes. So come back.
I know. I have to come back. This is
and then we get busy.
Right. Life gets in the way. This is absolutely incredible. You're going to stick around because you're going to join us.
I will stick around while I'm supposed to eat.
This is your client.
Yes, Manischewitz.
We can go out to eat after this, guys.
There we go.
We can go to Diller's.
Oh, look at that. Nothing better than pickles.
Nothing.
Fried pickles.
Oh, I've had it. It's outstanding.
And then they have
they bring the
fried fries.
The
pickled fries.
Ooh.
I can't.
Oh, yeah. It's freaking delicious.
That might,
take that away.
No, never take away my coffee. Move your coffee.
You move it. Okay. Wait, where's the syringe? I moved the syringe. Okay. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Guys, we are having a crazy show. All right. I'd love to hear some feedback on what you thought of that. I thought that was brilliant and amazing, and we have to continue this. Like, we got to have you on more and talk about. I love history, so the history of my favorite culture of food, like amazing, especially Hanukkah time now. Shani's going to come sit here.
Excellent.
Shani stepped into a role from cheese, which is very Hanukkah-y any case, dairy. She worked for Natural and Kosher for several years in the marketing team, and she's been on in the studio with the wonderful Brigitte Mizrahi. We love you, Brigitte. Sending you hugs.
Send you love.
Lots of love your way, and Natural and Kosher cheeses. Great recipes in my book for ricotta cheese lacquers, and the recipes I tested them all on were all sent by Brigitte from the ricotta cheese from Natural and Kosher. So
I remember that.
Yeah, remember that? She was amazing. Very, very generous. Welcome back.
I'm so happy
representing
to be
Manischewitz.
Excited to be back. So I'm very lucky. I went from cheese to now we're deep frying donuts. So and nothing. We're talking about Hanukkah. Nothing says Hanukkah like the smell of hot oil.
Yeah, and it's new, the donut mix. Talk about what's new, old from Manischewitz. Let's bring up some of the products.
Because Manischewitz has OG been around for a very long time, since 1888.
OG original. Since when?
1888.
Wow.
The
brand started here on the Lower East Side? Did it start?
No, in Cincinnati.
Ohio.
Cincinnati. I'm going to Cincinnati soon.
Ooh.
Very soon.
I can tell you where the original building is still standing.
I'm totally... Okay, we'll come back to that. I'm going on book tour.
I actually went to
It all comes back to the beginning.
Once. I can tell you where that is.
Okay. At Kapitel Tehillim.
I did.
Making traditional kosher foods for over 130 years. So we rebranded recently. This product has been for a couple years. The donut mix has been in the market. I've
never seen it.
We did just make a rebrand. We have a new logo with a new tagline, "Comfort Food for the Soul," which is actually a new tagline, but it's not new to Manischewitz. We've been, the brand has been making comfort food, Jewish comfort food, for a very long time.
Cool. Bring out some of the other products. We've got a bag full of products, and we have a Hanukkah giveaway.
Okay. So our newest products.
Cool. Let's just talk about the giveaway, and you're going to win some of the giveaway.
Yes.
You're going to win some of these Hanukkah things: a Hanukkah house, a donut mix, a latke mix, some chips. Just email us, Naomi, at nachumsegal.com, and Shani and I will pick a winner, and you will, over Hanukkah, win a box.
So this is part of our Hanukkah featured items.
This is heavy.
The Hanukkah house is, again, like we were talking about, especially around the holidays, the cultural pride. There's a lot of products out there for other holidays, but if you want to go and buy a Hanukkah house, not a gingerbread house, this Hanukkah house is a do-it-yourself decorating kit. It comes with the ready to assemble, no baking required. It has the icing, it has the sprinkles. It's really fun for the whole family. And Naomi's showing you our newest products. It's matzo chips.
Matzo chips. Okay, but can I just say, we're going to eat this now. You're coming to my show.
I know.
Right?
I know.
So Ellie's saying eat this one.
So we spoke about the diller.
Sharp and full of it.
They're horseradish chips.
Oh, no, that's so
Oh,
not.
no.
The horseradish.
You said you like trying different
Yes,
foods.
I do. Okay,
You're
I'll
trying
eat
the
it.
horseradish chips.
Okay, this
is my favorite. We tried it at Kosher Fest. I cannot. In one sitting, it's hard for me to not finish the whole thing.
It smells like a pickle. My mouth started watering. Okay, we definitely have to go on the street now.
There we go.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Mizonos.
Mizonos.
Baruch atanu v'cham bromim, is that? Oh my God, these are amazing, CK. Oh no,
They're amazing.
Sick.
They're addictive.
I want to dip this into sour cream. Okay.
Why don't we ask for pairings?
Okay.
Okay.
Whoever
we need.
I love that,
We
Shani.
need pairings for our horseradish and our dill.
Chips.
Let's do that. Let's ask for pairings.
What would you dip
Yes.
your matzo chip into from the dill, the horseradish flavor, the
Barbecue.
Bubby's
flavor, pass me the other two, the a bagel, like a
It's everything.
the everything topping
and the sea salt.
and sea salt. Okay, what would you pair those? And you can then email
Be
us.
creative.
And
Don't be afraid to go
crazy, and you will be entered into winning one bag of each of these chips and the Chanukah and this Chanukah swag. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to try these. All right.
Do you put quail on your horseradish?
Well,
No.
The horseradish.
no, I don't eat horseradish.
It's a cult favorite. I have to say.
Yeah. I just came from Union Square Market and they had all
ZK,
these
tell us what
cool
you think about them.
Horseradishes, I don't like them.
We say testing 1, 2, 3.
No, I like the dill pickles.
Very interesting. Not bad. Though.
Just to
They're red.
pass the bag, just to show that they're really great.
They are good. Honey horseradish.
Oh,
Woo!
these are amazing.
I know. Okay, but
If
I'm
you're
not a
going to
good-
name something horseradish, you got to go all the way.
Right, no,
You're
it's
not
very...
gonna-
Nah, this is... See, Ellie,
Have
this is
tachashim?
why we have something for everyone. L'chaim. There you go. These are delicious. He's got that. Okay. Okay, talk to me more.
Okay.
We've got Hanukkah gelt.
Okay, and Hanukkah gal. This will be the trifecta of our Hanukkah featured items. Will be part of our giveaway for Hanukkah.
Okay, great. So, guys, remember, you got to come up with a dip for our different flavors, and you can win this. Okay, and you'll get Hanukkah gelt too. Oh, it's milk chocolate coins, but you also have parv.
We do have parv. We have a dark chocolate and a milk chocolate. I brought the milk chocolate for show and tell.
Oh, I like that. All right.
Yes.
Now, we're going to
Yes.
put this. I think the Nachum Siegel Network, the first year I was here, we did a Hanukkah house building show, right? Whoever could build it. No, no, not the quickest, the nicest in 30 minutes. It was like the OG
I do have to say, you do need like some time. You do need like a good hour, 45 minutes.
It's a great activity.
I brought it to, if you go to a Hanukkah party, family Hanukkah party, you'll be a winner. If you bring this with the kiddos, adults too.
I practiced before my show. Before I did it on the
you did before you
yeah.
did the competition?
Okay,
We
so
should have had you practice with the horseradish chip.
yeah.
Can I trouble you to
Well,
put
I'm like,
that
did
over
you
there?
see how quickly I spat that out? I'm like, oh, I am
have
so
it.
not a horseradish.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's talk about, I love to cook. I have developed many recipes, one of them for donuts. So I don't want to say don't use my recipe, but there is a big shortcut. Everyone's very now into kitchen hacks. I'm not sure when this is airing and the time frame and all that, but I'm going to be or was on CBS Morning News doing donuts using this hack. So where's the box of donuts? Oh, here
So
it
here's
is.
the box.
Here's the
We
box.
can unbox that if you want to show
I'm
the
going to
components.
show everyone. Mm-hmm. And in the studio, they're going to walk in and freak out. This place smells like donuts.
Like I said, this smells like Hanukkah.
It smells like Hanukkah. Okay.
Smell like donuts. What's wrong with that?
I know, right? So here we have one package of mix, and you add in half a cup of milk or half a cup of water. It depends if you want it parv or milk.
So, Naomi, I helped you out today.
Yeah, she was my girl.
I'm no food blogger, but
you're my
I did
sous
mix
chef.
half a cup of milk with prepackaged. It's so easy, even I can do it.
Okay.
So
I'm sure you're fine. Okay, I'm going to move Ellie's very precious. I do not want anything to happen to these 100-year-old items.
I also remixed the icing.
Oh, great. So hold on 1 second, guys. Look at this. We need a plate. Oh, you forgot all that. So we're using our favorite Tuscanini jam. I love my Tuscanini jam. I have a syringe. We're going to stuff these. We're going to make in the studio. But what you do is you take basically the mix and a half a cup of milk and water. Literally just keep mixing. But really just when you think it's done, give it another mix. I think that's the key.
It takes a couple minutes.
A couple minutes. And just, it's crumbly, but just press it together.
Press it together.
That's
And you
what
see it
needs to
comes
be
together. You see how it feels? It feels like dough.
Yeah, it does feel like dough.
It comes together pretty quickly. Just trust the process.
Okay.
Right, Naomi?
Trust the process and fix the wording.
Right. The box says stir until uniform. Stir until you see that the dough comes together.
You have to describe to the person making it, who's never made it before, who doesn't know how to cook it exactly. I had that with my book. You know, so you have to imagine that if you don't know what you're doing, the person doesn't know what you're doing, that you need to explain.
Naomi, we need to consult with you when we do our...
Yeah, my number. I'm in the chat.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, here we go. So oil. We just talk about oil for a second. Oil. I'm going to give you all a cooking lesson on the show. Oil has a sweet spot number of temperature. You need the oil to be 360 degrees. Invest in an oil thermometer, I beg you. You will have perfectly cooked fried food that won't absorb the oil. It will just cook in the oil. If you've ever had soggy French fries, it's because they put the French fries, the potatoes, in the oil before the oil hit 360 degrees. Below 360, it's soggy. Below 370, it's burnt. You'll burn your food. So you want that really nice sweet spot around 360. Let's put in our first donut. You ready, CK?
So, Naomi, without the thermometer, because we don't have one here.
We don't have one here.
How did you...
So I just felt that it was nice and hot.
Okay. Do we need more oil?
No, I think, get in the camera. You can even turn it over. And it's okay, It's sometimes your first ones are a little bit raw in the middle and burnt on the outside. We do not have a thermometer in here, but we are lowering the temperature. And we're also, doing a radio show. Yeah, we can even probably shut it off for a minute.
I'm going to spin this. So these are guinea pigs.
Okay, so we're going to let that cook up a little bit. Pretty easy. And as you turn off, they lower the oil temperature actually lowers quite quickly when the heat is not on. So I'm just going to throw another one in there.
Air conditioning is on.
Oh, that's okay. We like air conditioning. Keeps the office nice and fresh. Keeps that oily air circulating. See how, look, that one's perfect. Because the oil temperature is a little bit lower. Okay. And we are frying up some Erev Chanukah.
It's like falafel balls.
I think when this goes to air, I might be in Israel.
Falafel balls.
They look like falafel balls.
This was the mecca of Sifkaniyot.
Oh, my God. I cannot wait. Cannot wait.
This is mecca, which is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Cultural reference.
Cultural reference.
Epicenter.
Oh, that's a good word, epicenter.
Epicenter. Unity and peace.
Yeah, I'm all about peace. Yeah. Aren't we all, though? Okay. Flip those over. You don't want them to get too dark.
Can I take them out?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, flip that one over.
this one?
And then take the first two out.
Two original ones.
We are cooking up a storm here on Table for Two.
I'm learning a lot right now.
Okay. If you have an oil thermometer, it really, really, really helps you. And just really be careful, guys, when you're cooking with oil and kids. It can get very hot very fast. Now, I made this at home last week. And they were delicious. I put in a little bit more than what was recommended. And it was super delicious. Lots of milk went into mine. It was actually very cakey, which I really liked. Okay. I've never actually tried.
When I have, these kits or these, like a pre-assembled, I do baking at home, but I also use sometimes.
Don't be embarrassed because I do it too. Are you kidding? Duncan Hines brownies are great.
You know what a dough is
Embrace
supposed to
it.
look like. So if you want to add a little more liquid, if you feel like it needs a little bit more, that's
Or
okay.
wet your hands with
Wet
a little
your
water to roll it. I'm making a mess because I don't have water. I'm actually not in a kitchen. You know, we've cooked steaks in here before, so
I believe it.
What's a little donut? Okay, and throw in another one.
Do a video mashup of all of quick cuts of all the cooking you've done on this little teeny.
Oh
thing.
yeah, ZK has no time for that. ZK, you're on it.
I'm just taking one salad.
Okay.
Give me a year.
Give me a year. Okay, give me a tissue. Okay, I've got like dough all over my henties. See, I'm speaking Yiddish.
There
still.
you go, a little
I'm
bit of
keeping
Yiddish.
Oh, great. I'm going to take a little bit of water from here, and I'm going to wash my hands in the studio while we are cooking up. And what's really great about this Manischewitz kit, it comes with sprinkles and icing.
Yeah, you don't have to walk around the supermarket buying a whole thing of sprinkles that you'll use a quarter of.
Right.
It comes with all the ingredients. It gets you out of the kitchen, when you want to spend time with your family.
When you want to play dreidel. To spiel dreidel. We're keeping the Yiddish going here today, guys. Okay, now I'm going to prepare the jam filling. Okay, Ellie. Uh-oh.
I could do it. I got it.
Okay.
I got nice straw hands.
Okay.
Wow.
It's a good thing that worked because you
You're a
said
pro.
that right away. It was
You're a
if
pro.
that didn't open.
I know, right? It's a bit risky there. Okay, but we know, ZK, we know. Okay, now I've got the syringe. I would just want to say an unknown friend doctor got this for me at a hospital.
Naomi sent me an emoji of the syringe yesterday, and it looked like we were planning
Blood, but I said it's
Blood
raspberry
bath.
jam, not blood.
Yes, exactly.
Can I have a spoon? Do we have a
Try it
spoon?
the other way. Try sucking it in.
Will it work? No way.
Try it first. See what happens.
Oh, Ellie. We
Dip
ate.
it all the way in. Dip it in. Now you lost a lot of the side. There you go.
So you have more than just an encyclopedic knowledge of Jewish marketing. You know how to use a syringe.
I am
Ellie is a
Renaissance man.
a Renaissance man, but he
a lot
can
of useless
cook.
knowledge.
Okay, that was very clever. Okay,
Useful.
I'm taking jam. What do you call it in America? This jam?
Is that a jam or a preserve? There's a difference. Or
Jam.
jelly.
What do you call it in Yiddish?
Where's my book?
Riba is Hebrew in Hebrew. Okay, look at this. You ready?
Break your wrap.
Okay, you ready? I'm going to syringe this. Okay, I'm putting jelly. I'm making a jelly donut. Oh, look at that! I put jelly in it.
Looks great.
Oh, this is great, guys. Take a look.
So Naomi, this is the icing.
Okay, but it has to be cool.
Now, this packet from the donut mix is powdered sugar. You just put water in it. You mix it up. Nope.
And you mix it up and you frost it and you put the sprinkles on, but
Yeah.
we are filling up with jam.
Okay.
It's a bit liquidy.
Yeah, you dip it in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a glaze, not
a-
a frosting.
It's a glaze. So you
Oh,
you,
I thought it was a frosting.
No, it's a glaze. You dip the donut in, and then you use the sprinkle. Once that's still wet,
Oh, I see. Make it nice and shiny.
and then you put the sprinkles on
Yeah.
top.
Let's. Okay. Here, I'm dipping it in.
I'm making a mess.
That's okay. Like that. Ta-da, ta-da. Oh, I thought it was going to be more like a frosting. It's more like a glaze.
It's a glaze.
Okay, so I think I'll split it in half with ZK.
Let me just get the
There
last
you
one.
go. We already said Mazana on everything else that we've been eating in this show. We might have to supersize the show for a few minutes because it's a Hanukkah show. It's amazing.
They're as good as advertised. They're better than horseradish chips.
Oh my God! I did
They're
not
not better
spit it
than
out.
pickled
Oh, you're not gonna live that
dill
one down with
pickles
us.
chips.
Nah.
I need to. By the way, we need a clip. We're making a meme out of her biting into that chip.
Or a boomerang.
Have a
Yeah,
look.
we
Have
need
a
it.
look.
We exactly. We got to do a
Look at my
boomerang.
jam. I broke it in half. Yeah, you can have the big half.
Okay, we need Ellie.
I'm gonna make more.
Yeah, we could. We could.
Yeah. I'm gonna take some more jam. I'm using Ellie's hack.
Suction.
Really? That's so great. I think we're having a bit too much fun here. A Freilich and Hanukkah to all our viewers.
A lichtige Hanukkah. If you
A
want to go-
lichtige Hanukkah.
A lit Hanukkah.
Lichtige.
Lichtige.
Lichtige Chanukah. And a Freilichen
that.
Chanukah.
Freilichen Hanukkah is a happy Hanukkah. Lichtlich Hanukkah is a lit Hanukkah.
A lit. You should be lit.
Wait, as a millennial, I like lit.
Exactly,
Let's get
there you go.
lit.
Yeah, let's get lit. There
An
you
elder
go.
millennial.
Oh, there you go. There's one with jam for you.
Thank you.
We had an amazing show. We had Cheryl Haft on the phone, Good Night Bubala, and as a newly minted-ish grandma, Bubby herself. I was thrilled to talk
funny.
to her. And there you go, Ellie, a jam
What
for
could be
Ellie.
bad?
This is insane.
This is insane.
This is really
It
like,
tastes homemade.
it tastes homemade.
It tastes like Naomi Nachman tested the recipe, made the recipe.
Yeah, there's a long story behind this donut. One day we'll share, This is
In
incredible.
the tell-all book.
Yes, in my tell-all book, Naomi and Manischewitz.
You can market it.
There
we
you go,
go.
Ellie. There you go, ZK. I'm feeling everyone jam. We had Cheryl. We had Ellie from Jacob Joseph Agency talk to us about the history of Jewish and kosher food marketing. And Shani Simon from Manischewitz cooking up a storm, talking to us about great Hanukkah products. You have to come back, both of you, for a Pesach show. Deal?
You're on.
Okay? I'll probably know my dates very soon.
I don't know. The
P word.
commute might be hard for me to come back here.
I know, right? You're making us a little J. All right,
Okay.
great. Thanks.
Jelly.
A little
Jelly.
jelly.
We're going to
All
go
right.
millennial. We're going to go millennial.
We're going all the way. Everyone, I want to wish you a Freilichen Chanukah, a lichtige Chanukah. Did I say it right?
A lit Hanukkah.
A lit Chanukah. A good Shabbos. I'm wishing you all Shabbat Shalom from, you're probably listening to this while I'm in Israel. Shabbat Shalom. We've got music sponsored by our friends at Geffen all the way up until Lichtbenching. Shabbat Shalom.